Hail adventurers, Pwn Star here with Pwn Star Gaming. Guys, how are you today? Today's video, we are going to talk about the 10 different types of players that you will encounter in Ultima Online. Now, I've played this game for a very long time, since T2A, and I've encountered quite a different amount of different people, and I wanted to take a minute to share them with you. Now, this video is not intended to insult anyone. It is completely satire, and the views in it are that of my own. So if you fall into one of these categories and you get offended, well, sit back, grab yourself a beer, and let's talk about it. All right, first off on our list, number 1 is going to be the complete noob. Now, this guy finds the Outlands Discord, whether it be from Reddit or YouTube or just Google search. He ends up joining our Discord and starts asking all kinds of different questions about the server rule set, sharing tales of old about how he used to run around with his plate mail gorget, halberd, and deadly poison katana, rockshering Jor sock swords off. He then leaves shelter almost immediately once he gets his swordsmanship to 70, and some of the other skills are right around 40 or 50. Wears the best armor he found from the shelter newbie dungeon off of the different cave bears, ettins, and mongbats, only to be killed by our next person in the list. Then he comes back to the Discord complaining that this server has a red problem. Ultimately, this guy will just constantly spam the forums and the Discord about how there's too many reds and how can a PvM character fight against a PvP character. Meanwhile, telling everybody that back in the day, it wasn't like this. Which brings us to number 2 on our list. Number 2 on our list is the Overworld PK, that copper hatchet and 12 shadowwood logs that from the lumberjack that he just PK'd is so juicy. Now, you can't blame this guy. He just finds excitement in everything that he does, and he loves to scream and yell and send screenshots of him killing lumberjacks and miners. He gets off work from his 9 to 5, spends the 3 to 4 hours a night doing nothing but killing miners, killing lumberjacks, and spamming the PvP channel trying to call out these miners and lumberjacks. For some reason, they never respond, probably because most of them are robots and don't really care that they were PK'd. However, eventually he runs into a lumberjack that Paul Bunyan himself taught how to fight. This lumberjack pulls out a double axe and beheads this murderous PK of the overland type, and suddenly he has 65,000 gold worth of res fees, and he cannot pay for it because all he has done is get that juicy copper hatchets. So then he jumps into the Ultima Online Discord and starts spamming about how the server isn't fair towards reds, and he's going back to the Ultima Online PvP server where all the elite dudes and ultimate PvPers are, with a peak of 13 players. Which takes us to number 3, the I think I can make a script for that guy. Now, in real life, he might look something similar to C3PO or R2D2, but this guy can make a script for everything. And I'm not talking about something to train your magery from 1 to 100. I'm talking about recalling around, killing demons automatically, including dropping your gold into a bank and sorting various raiders into whatever tombs they go into. But not only that, if he sees a red on screen, thanks to tracking, he's able to instantly recall out, automatically, without ever being seen. Also, keeping magic reflect up in between recalls and healing himself whenever needs to be. He does this usually while working his stay-at-home 9 to 5 job where he also writes codes, and then when asked something about the game itself, he has no idea. But he has every single aspect unlocked and always ranks in the top 10 for gold looted. I'm going to throw out a trigger warning for number 4. Don't say I didn't warn ya. Number 4 is the guy who is at every single server launch and always hypes it up like it will blow up past whatever AAA MMORPGs are out, like World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV, but ultimately spends his entire time finding exploits and bashing new players or anyone who disagrees with their point of view, eventually getting banned where his new MMORPG becomes bashing that server and everyone who plays on it, until the next server launch happens. Thus, history repeats itself for 25 years. adding notches to his belt of places he was banhammered from, telling tales of old about how he was banned at this server or that server, explaining how it was never his fault and the server GMs are just corrupt, money-hungry Neanderthals. People often ask him, why don't you create your own server? You seem to have all the great ideas that everybody would want to play for. But ultimately, he's just too busy with real life and all the cool things that he does outside of Ultima, while he posts on Reddit or flames the Discords nonstop with what is wrong with private Ultima Online servers. Number 5, here we go, is I think a little bit in all of us. The I've played this game since launch guy. And let me tell you, he's gonna go out of his way to remind you of it, nonstop. Whether you're in a dungeon, a town struggle, or killing a boss. This guy will bring up his fond memories of doing it back in the good old days. Like how it used to be, and funny stories back in his day about sitting in front of Minog Bank or robbing people's banks and houses. He means well, but sometimes he comes off as a know-it-all and sort of reminds you of Uncle Rico.
Back in '82, I used to be able to throw a pigskin a quarter mile.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
And sometimes he even has a YouTube channel. But you forgive him because he has a sexy gray stripe in his beard. And he streams Ultima Online every Wednesday and Saturday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And you join his community Discord and hit that subscribe button because you just overall enjoy his content that he brings. Oh boy, let me tell you about number 6. This is the Eternal Neckbeard guy. For years and years, this guy has been sitting in the exact same computer chair with the exact same discolored keyboard and mouse. This guy is the first to finish every piece of content and always ranks number 1 on the server rankings. He knows the game better than the developers themselves, and his biggest rifle is that who could be his best friend. That's right, the exact same version of himself, but their quest for being number 1 at the 25-year-old wizard game and supremacy keeps them at each other's throats. Thus, he continues to do whatever it is he does to keep himself at number 1, never stopping to talk or get to know anyone because, hey, we don't got time for that. There's server rankings and achievements to be first with. Number 7 is not to be confused with number 6. Number 7 is very similar, but he is the Tryhard asshole guy. This guy understands the game to the point it's not even a game anymore, and more so just a play guide. He knows the meta for every situation and always clears whatever content at the fastest time possible. And he crucifies anyone who uses fencing rather than macing, because 3.14 more DPS is better than not having that DPS. So if you use fencing rather than macing, you're an idiot. And don't even get me started if you're using the command aspect as a summoner. That's just a waste of gold and just so much that you could be putting that on your tamer and get way more damage output. He literally will have an aneurysm if your first character wasn't a bard with macing. Now this guy also has a response to everything you say in Discord, calling out every single statement made that is incorrect or could be min-maxed in a better way. His way of enjoyment is that of min-max, and anyone who doesn't see it that way is completely wrong. This is the same guy who finishes all the content, plays for 18 hours a day, and then complains that there isn't anything to do in this game. Alright, now number 8, the Altaholic. Now I know some of you guys just throw whatever new build it is that you want onto your Echo, and it is all well said and done. However, this guy never really generates enough money to make an Echo, nor does he focus on one character at a time. This guy is never satisfied with his choices. He watches a lot of YouTube videos and always makes that new cool build once he's done with the base skills that he takes into the dungeon, plays it for a day or two, and then gets to level 2 on his aspect, and then he's on to the next one, never seemingly getting anywhere on his mastery chain or really leaving his house much, because he just sits in his house, macroing day in and day out. But actually, yeah, right, who has a house? I meant to say their in-room. This is Ultima Online Outlands. Only the wealthy, the top 0.5%, have a small house or better. Alright, number 9, the bank center Fashionista. This guy spends his entire loot haul coming up with cool outfits. He will literally trade his entire boathouse just for a full arena cloth outfit so you can only see the whites of his eyes in the paper doll, constantly staring his character at the bank, and then as a new player walks by, praying he gets acknowledgement for his cool drip. This guy also probably wears a Supreme hoodie in real life and is named Chad. Either that or, ironically, he's like most of us, mid-30s and loves to play this virtual Barbie dress up in a 25-year-old wizard game. Alright, number 10 is arguably the worst, and I mean the worst of them all. This guy, as we all know, is the hot micer. Now this guy just can't seem to find the push to talk button on Discord. Should I do a how-to video? Is that seriously what it's gonna take? How to set up push to talk? He constantly is not only breathing loudly into the mic or eating a bag of Lay's pickle chips, forcing that smack at every single chew, what seemingly seems like he's got his microphone just jammed down his throat, but he also yells at his wife and tells her to go, that he's getting hungry, and tells her to go to Taco Bell and get 3 7-layer burritos and 4 gorditas. All these things while his kids are yelling in the background, crying because little Joey ripped the head off of Sally's Barbadile. All while some daytime soap opera is going on in the background and you're hearing all about John cheating on Jennifer. Thank God for that server mute button, and who the hell let this guy in the guild? There you have it, guys. 10 different types of Ultima Online players, specifically to the Ultima Online Outlands server. I hope you guys found that enjoyable. Make sure you hit that like button, the subscribe button, and ring the bell. That way you can always find awesome content from me on a weekly basis. I do want to remind you once again that I stream on Wednesdays and Saturdays Ultima Online at 8:30 Eastern, and whatever other game I'm playing on Tuesdays and Thursdays at the exact same time. As it goes, guys, we do have our beer of the day. I chose the Angry Scotsman beer, the Battle Unicorn, just because, well, there might be some angry people when this video comes out. So, Battle Unicorn it is. This is a brewery right around me here in Oklahoma City. I've really grown accustomed to some of the sour beers and things of that nature. Yeah, they've been pretty tasty lately. So, without further ado, my friends, I give you Battle Unicorn from Angry Scotsman. Other than that, Skull. Guys, thanks again. Pwn Star Gaming out.